Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving straight into the future simple tense, pulling some fantastic insights from Nova English Academy. We're going to master one of the absolute easiest, most essential linguistic tools you'll use every single day. If you want to confidently project your ideas into tomorrow, next week, or even next year, let's break down the mechanics together.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. 1. What is future simple? 2. When do we use it? 3. Negatives and questions. 4. Future time expressions. And finally, 5. Let's practice together.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1. What is future simple? The formula for tomorrow.
To put it simply, we use this tense for actions that haven't happened yet. Think of it like a linguistic time machine, right? The formula is incredibly straightforward. It's just your subject, plus the word will, plus your base verb, and then your object. It's this really elegant, satisfying little math equation that instantly lets you project your thoughts forward in time.
Now, what's genuinely cool here is how cleanly that formula applies to real-life plans. Take a sentence like, I will visit my grandparents next weekend. You've got your subject, I. You throw in will, add the base verb, visit, and cap it off with the rest of the sentence. It works exactly the same way whether you're saying, she will study English tonight, or they will travel to Egypt next month, or even offering a hand with, we will help you with your homework. The structure is literally plug and play.
Moving right along to Section 2. When do we use it? The 4 daily missions.
So, the crucial point here is that this single tiny word, will, totally empowers you to navigate 4 completely distinct daily scenarios. We're talking about future plans, predictions, promises, and quick, on-the-spot decisions. Let's see exactly how these play out in conversation.
For our very first mission, future plans, it's all about projecting your intentions crystal clear. Setting up a simple phone call? You just say, I will call you tomorrow. It's super direct. There's absolutely no ambiguity about what you're planning to do.
And that brings us to our second mission, making a prediction about something uncertain. It will rain later today. Now, obviously you don't know for an absolute 100% fact that the rain is coming, but maybe you're predicting it based on those dark clouds outside. The future simple is the perfect tool for this kind of guesswork.
Mission 3. That's all about commitment. When we make meaningful promises to the people in our lives, we lean heavily on the word will. I will always support you. Using will gives the sentence this incredibly strong, unwavering tone that is just essential when you want someone to know for a fact that they can rely on you.
Finally, we use it for quick, spur-of-the-moment decisions. Imagine you're just sitting there, and suddenly, boom, you realize you're thirsty. You don't need a grand, elaborate plan. You just make a choice in that exact second. I'm thirsty. I will get some water. It acts as a trusty navigator when you need to declare immediate action.
Okay, Section 3. Negatives and questions. Flipping the script.
But hey, what happens when we need to say no? Well, turning statements negative requires just a tiny little shift in our formula. It's your subject plus will not, or much more commonly, the contraction won't, plus your base verb. So instead of saying she will come, you just casually say, she won't come to school tomorrow. Or making sure someone knows, we won't forget your birthday. Using won't is basically how native speakers actually talk.
Now, when asking a question, you literally just flip the script. You take will and toss it right at the very front of the sentence. Will plus subject plus base verb. This instantly turns a standard, boring statement into a friendly inquiry or an invitation, like, will you join us? Or, will they arrive on time?
Let's roll into Section 4, Future Time Expressions. The trigger words.
Now we need to look at the specific trigger words that immediately signal to your listener that you're jumping into the future. If we think about it chronologically, we start close to the present with words like later or soon. Then we jump to the next day with tomorrow. And we can push it way further out to next week, next month, straight through to next year, or just broadly, in the future. Pairing the future simple tense with these words is how you give your sentences real context.
Let's hear those trigger words in action. I will finish my homework tomorrow, or they will move to a new house next year. Anchoring your sentences with these specific time markers clarifies exactly when your future action is going down. It leaves literally zero confusion for whoever you're talking to.
All right, we've made it to Section 5. Let's practice together, the final test.
You've got the formula down, so let's build that confidence with a quick mental exercise directly from our source material. I'm going to run through 3 scenarios, and I want you to shout out the missing words. Ready? Okay. For number 1, the positive action is, she will visit her aunt tomorrow. For number 2, we need a question, so that becomes, will they play football after school? And for number 3, the negative statement, we won't watch TV tonight. If you got those right, you've completely nailed the mechanics.
Honestly, great job today. You now have a firm grip on one of the most practical tenses in the entire English language. But you know, the real power of the future simple isn't just about passing a grammar test. It's about how we shape our reality and make commitments to each other. When you say I will, you are literally manifesting an intention into existence. So I want to leave you with this. What is one bold plan, prediction, or promise you will make for tomorrow? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep practicing.